All right, now, how many foreigners are playing for the Moscow Patriots?
Just one. We got Bobby Rome. That's all we needed at this point.
All right, now, then, as a coach, John, how difficult is it to coach Russian players?
Well, obviously the language barrier is the biggest issue to have, but luckily football is kind of a general, everybody kind of understands. You do a lot of demonstrations. You can't just talk about it like you do in America. You'll tell a kid what to do. You got to actually show them and then demonstrate it and then keep repeating it and find guys who do it well and then let them teach the other guys. That's kind of how it goes. I coached in Croatia last year.
How was that?
Same thing. They're athletes. Russia's got great athletes. I mean, you walk out on the field and you see big, strong, fast guys, and we just got to get their technique up to the level where, in America, you've been playing since you're a 6-year-old. Yeah. So it's natural to you. Where here, they may have only been playing for a couple of years. So there's a big difference between a guy who's been playing for 10 years and a guy who's been playing for 1. But athletically, boy, they're going to come and hit you. They love to hit things.
In the U.S., somebody walking down the street, you fall into a hole, and they're thinking like, oh, my God, who am I going to sue? But in Russia, you're walking down the street, you fall into a hole, and they're looking at it like, why are you so stupid you fell into a hole?
Yeah, exactly. It's totally different over here. There's stuff that we do even in practice where, guys will take their helmet off and they'll run a drill, and I'm like, holy cow, you can't do that. But
I like that, man.
They doesn't bother them at all. I mean, they're tough. We had one guy play on a broken ankle the entire last game. Didn't complain about it once, played the entire game. Then after the game, he's like, and I saw him limping, and I kept asking him, hey, what's going on? And he's like, I'm all right. They're just tough over here. But in America, those rule changes, it's making it tough.
Russians have this sense of have to be a man, and nothing can stop you. Yes. And it's actually quite good because
it's great.
If they go home with a broken nose, it's a symbol that they succeeded.
Yeah. Look at honey.
Look at that. Did you see how much I hit that guy?
I can't breathe. I mean, what would you say the playing level is here for the pro teams?
Right. The good teams, when we're playing like the Storm or United, that's a Division II kind of level. If you're talking about the states over there,
semi-pro, yes.
The league over here, you consider it semi-pro, but I mean it's really at a Division II kind of level. But there are
these are like good college players.
Yes, yes. But we've got a defensive end that if he had a shot, he could make the NFL. He's got the build, he's got the speed, he's got the moves, but he doesn't speak any English. Never at the right age, he never thought about coming to America to do that. So that's one of the things. All the coaches back home are looking at me like, "Hey, what a great job you have. You're in Russia coaching football." So they're all looking at the films I'm sending home, looking at guys, all the young guys we have on the team. I know a ton of college coaches. That's all I hang out with. So they're always looking for guys, and they don't care where they come from. They're just looking for guys that can play.
All right, man. All right, we'll be back in about 6 minutes, man. I got more questions.
This is gonna be a long one.
Questions,
we're
man.
Here all day, man.
But right now, it's time. This is Big Daddy Weave with the only name, and the only name is Moscow FM.
Tell us, how do you see, are things advancing since you guys been here? You've been here only a very short time, but in terms of popularity, you see more and more people coming out?
Absolutely. Yeah. Everywhere we go, it's drawing more and more interest. The last game being on national TV here was a big thing, and a lot of people, that sparked a lot of interest. We got guys from all over. People are just showing up at practice now, just wanted to check it out, see what's going on with it. Bobby and I ran a special little training called D1 training to bring guys who have never played before out and just get them out running around, teach them the fundamentals, that kind of stuff. We're great. We're going to continue doing something like that under the Moscow Patriots going into next season. And we're really, what we want to do, first of all, we're here to win a championship in Russia. We want to go home and say, hey, we won the Russian national championship. And then next year, we're hoping to play in what they call the Euro Bowl, which is you play champions from other countries. So it's kind of a European championship type thing.
Now, very quickly, we get a lot, so when we talk about American football, people saying American football is a bunch of pansies. Does anybody ever show up like to a trial or anything and say, "Oh, how bad can it be?" Or people think that it's like a joke, and then
I actually
then they get hit one time.
I actually had this one rugby guy. He contacted me through this website called Europlayer, and he was like, "I want to go try out for the Moscow Patriots." I said, okay, just contact him. So he contacted our GM, Dimitri, and they gave him a workout. And From my understanding, he was like the worst football player they ever seen. I haven't heard from the guy since. I haven't
walked off in shame.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him since. So, and I'm still getting heat from this guy. Yeah, he said he was your friend. I just told him to go try out. They was expecting him to be, a real good player. They're like, what in the world is this, man?
All right, man. You guys stick around. We're going to do a little music. We got the news from Russia Today coming up, and then we'll be back to talk football.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about your budget earlier, and your budget is pretty much non-existent, but you do get some money somewhere.
Absolutely.
I mean, who pays you guys?
I tell you what, we got some great people who sponsor us. Dr. Lauder's Fitness Gym. Not only do they help with the budget, but they allow the whole team to work out at the gym, and it's fantastic. I've never been in a gym like this.
That's a pretty posh gym.
Oh, yeah. Marble
amazing.
floors, red carpet, incredible trainers. Actually, Bobby's going to be teaching an athletic class over there.
Yeah.
So anybody who's interested in getting, athletically trained specifically for sports, it's a great place. You can check them out online. Johnny Rockets is a big sponsor of us, which is great because you got to love the hamburger. Back home, American hamburger is a great deal for us. BBQ. I get it right. I always want to say barbecue. BBQ.
Yeah.
They let us hold meetings and things down there. We're watching American football down there.
Heinrich's a hell of a guy.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great place to watch the game. There's games tonight. So probably end up down there again. LA Connection does a lot for us, and US Impress. They all chip in, do a little bit here and there. We're looking for more sponsors all the time, obviously, because we really want to grow the sport over here. There's 750 teams playing American football in Europe. Mm-hmm. There's 50,000 people in Germany alone playing American football.
Well, it's getting bigger. I mean, one of the biggest games every year, attendance-wise, is the NFL game that's played in London every year.
Right.
Yep. And they're talking actually about expanding that to other cities now.
London's actually chewing over having a team of its own.
Yeah.
Which would be weird, but I'm sure they could sort it out.
Oh, yeah. The NFL's got money.
I mean, teams flying back and forth across the Atlantic.
Sure.
That's tough.
That's a tough road game, man. Mentally, the time is that'll be tough.
You always think you feel bad for the Redskins when they have to go play in L.A.
Right.
But they go over the ocean.
Yeah, to travel across the Atlantic that many time zones.
But I'm telling you, to be popular over here, for sure. One of the things we'd like to do next year is bring over some NFL guys to do a camp early in the season, like a national-type camp, bring guys over. It's been being done now all over the place. Italy had Joe Montana last year, went over there with some guys. Jake Plummer is a friend of mine. I coached with him on a staff, so I'm going to talk to Jake about maybe him coming over. Ilya from the New England Patriots, bringing him back over to help us coach.
What about a scrimmage? Do you think any NFL teams would be willing to ever come over and do a scrimmage?
I not an NFL team. I doubt that.
Just because they play so many preseason games.
They're not complaining
What's one more?
What's one more?
They complain
might be able to get like a CFL team to come over here.
You know what they are doing, though, is they're putting all-star games against European players against like Division III, Division II teams are starting to do all-star game type game.
I'm really interested in what kind of season. I mean, like in general, how long a season's going to be, because it's going to be a summer sport.
Yeah, we try to. We started up in May. The championship game will be the first weekend in October. So next year. One of the things I'm trying to talk to the league about is condensing the schedule to we should practice 3 times a week and play on the weekends. That's kind of the schedule you do in America. Having 2-3 weeks between games is tough, because as a player, you want to get into a rhythm. And you see what happens in the NFL when those guys get the bye week, or even in the playoffs. The teams that get the first round byes sometimes don't come out and perform well in that first half. It's a different. You can't emulate a game at practice. You try to, but the speed and the timing and everything changes. So once you get in that rhythm, you want to stay in that rhythm.
All right, man. You guys stick around. We got a little more music and the news from Russia Today, and we will be back to talk about the greatest sport ever right here on Moscow FM.